We released Drew Innings, the defensive tackle. We're working on signing a tight end for numbers. Guys who did not pass their physical, Julius Peppers and Fred Ross, active PUP, off-season surgery. Chris Manhertz for the Jones fracture. Brian Cox, who did a high ankle sprain in the last practice in minicamp. And Curtis Samuel, who came in, his ankle still, he's got some soreness from working out over the last few weeks, and we're going to put him, technically it's active non-football injury, but it's essentially active PUP, and we're just being cautious.
Peppers, is that shoulder related?
Yeah, the off-season surgery, him and then Fred. No, I mean, I think with all these guys, it's just, this is the category you put them in to give them time, and when they're ready, they'll be passed and activated in practice.
Is it just the 3 on PUP then?
It's 4 guys on PUP, so it's Peppers and Ross and Manhertz and Cox, and then again Curtis Samuels is essentially PUP, but the technical phrase will be active non-football injury because the soreness came from working out.
And you see that as just a minor,
Yeah, it's just being cautious, and we were very impressed with the way he came back and what he showed during the OTAs and minicamp. But we knew coming in, we wanted to be careful. We wanted to give him days off. And right now, with some soreness, we just want to be cautious and put him on this list and let him work with the trainers. And then when he's ready, we'll get him back out there.
And that was soreness from like the past few weeks he's been working out?
Just working out the last, yeah. It's just from the last, what he was doing. He was doing everything he could to get ready.
How did Luke come
Luke
back?
should be good to go.
Luke is passed, and again, with some of these guys, you're going to see us, manage him through practice, but he's passed and will be ready to go.
Marty, what's the injury on Fred Ross?
Fred was hip surgery, off-season hip surgery.
Was that what he went through last year as well?
2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years ago, he had it in college, and then he had it surgery again this off-season. Last season in camp, it was an ankle sprain and a concussion, I believe.
Marty, Cam has had a different sort of off-season. I just wonder if you could speak to kind of the weapons you've surrounded him with and your attempt at improving the offense and also his health.
His health, obviously, compared to a year ago, it's great. I mean, he's had OTAs, he had full mini camp. I thought you saw a lot of energy out of our offense, out of our whole team in OTAs and mini camp. The thing, Scott, about this coming into camp, it's all, you just don't know. You want to see it come together. We are very, we're optimistic. I think that everybody's excited about some of the new players and the young players we brought in on both sides of the ball. We have 3 new coordinators, essentially. So there's a lot of new parts, and it's going to be important to see how we come together and how it gels. But I think, the feeling coming out of OTAs, coming out of minicamp, everybody's excited. I was excited to get down here and get going and see us in pads and let guys compete, because I think we have a lot of competition in a lot of spots.
One of those spots, Marty's clearly left guard. What do you make of that position right now?
We've got 3 or 4 guys, I think, who can compete for that starting job, and it's going to be, we're going to rotate those guys. We're going to see them all with the first unit. I think we feel good about the guys who are competing for it, but there's good depth there, and I think we have good depth on the offensive line. So, ideally, that's what you do. You let competition play out and see who wins that job. But I think we have at least 3 or 4 guys who are going to compete for that starting left guard job.
Is there an ideal time when you would like to have that decided?
Normally, you say going into the third preseason game, you'd like to. That's the game you play your first team, into the third quarter. But I don't think you put timetables on things like that. When the answer is there, we'll know it.
Marty, following yesterday's allegations against Vernon Butler, we saw him today. I'm wondering if you guys had found anything more, any more information out about that.
We're gathering information. We're still in the process of gathering information, and that's where we are.
Have you had any chance any time to spend some time with David Tepper and talk to him a little bit about what his vision is and what he sees going forward?
Yes, I've had, several meetings. We talk, on a very regular basis. And I think everybody's got the same vision. It's to come in and win football games and with the goal of winning the Super Bowl.
Marty, Bill mentioned the left guard spot. Well, what about in the secondary and beyond your established starters and James and Mike at safety? What are you paying close attention to as camp gets underway?
Well, I think you look at the corner spot, and again, I think we've got good competition there. I think that, you've got obviously James Bradbury and Kevon Seymour and Captain coming back from last year. You have Ross Cockrell, who has been a real steady influence this whole OTAs, mini camps. He's a guy who comes in and does everything right. And then you have Dante Jackson, who will bring another element of speed and electric play to us. And I think we have really good competition at the corner spot. At safety, Mike Adams, I think, after a year here under the system, I think he should improve. And Denoris Searcy brings another veteran to the mix. Then you have Rashawn Golden, our third-round pick, who I think really, as the OTAs and minicamp went on, you could see him improve and get more comfortable with the safety position, and hoping to see him pick up where he left off. And we have a bunch of other young guys that are going to compete. I think that's the theme right now. I think we have a lot of competition at a number of spots, which is what you strive for.
Regarding Devin Funchess being in a contract year, obviously he really took this offseason seriously in terms of his workout, but he's kind of in a unique situation where he wasn't really in the spotlight in terms of targets or reps until Kelvin got traded. Is this kind of a prove-it year for him, or is this contract negotiation something you have started, or is there any sort of timetable that you are shooting for with this?
I think it's a continued development year. And, he did – last year was really after we made the trade with Kelvin, he got moved over to X. I think that we've made some changes in that wide receiver room where we brought in a couple guys in Torrey Smith and Jarius Wright who really have experience and have leadership, and I think can be a very positive effect on the entire room. And then obviously we've added young guys like DJ Moore, and we've got Curtis Demir Bird. We've talked about the increased speed at that position. And really, those guys all play off each other, because when you can stretch the field and you can open other things up, we hope that the increased talent level at that position helps all of them, including Devin. But Devin really made a huge strides last year, and he hopes to continue to do the same this year.
Especially when you see how inflated the wide receiver market has gotten in recent years. Is it kind of more of a patience game and seeing what exactly he can produce for you guys?
Well, I think this is a year where, again, it's you want to see a guy put back-to-back years together, and he was in a unique position where, he was playing the Z, and really I think his talent level fits the X position more, better for him, better for us, and he got moved there the second half of the year, and I think he thrived with it. So you want to see him continue to do that.
Marty, when would you think Peppers might be cleared?
Joe, it's hard. It's hard to put timetables. He's a guy that is going to be there. When he's ready, he's ready. It's with all those guys. That's what Ryan Vermillion, Mark Szymanski, our trainers. They're going to tell us when they're ready to go, and when they clear them, they'll be back.
Same kind, maybe the same surgery as Luke. It just kind of guys rehabbing at different rates, or did Julius have any kind of setback?
No, I think Julius is fine. And I think, again, you want to be cautious. Listen, you know what Pep's going to bring. So I don't think you worry a whole lot about Julius Peppers.
Any of those that you think might not be ready for the regular season?
Don't think so. We're going to have to see how Manhurts comes along, but it's just hard to sit and speculate. I learned 30 years ago from Joe Gibbs, says that he just didn't put timetables on guys, because you never know. So it's, they're going to do everything they can every day to get ready, and they'll be back as soon as they can be back.
You said that you were looking at signing a tight end. Do you think that would be somebody to maybe compete with Ian Thomas for that role, or what have you seen from Thomas so far?
Well, you hope that anybody you bring in competes, but we're looking for, a guy that can come in and take reps as the fourth or fifth tight end right now, and that's the name of the game. You come in, and if you produce and you do good on the reps you get, then you get more reps. Ian Thomas has done very well so far in OTAs and minicamp. He's a young guy. We said that, it's going to take some time, but he's got a lot of physical tools. I think that he's got a real passion for the game, and his approach has been very good. And again, he's one of a lot of the young guys that we're very optimistic about. But now it's time to put on the pads and compete and see what you got.
Marty,
more-
understanding it's a legal situation, but have you met with Vernon yet? Is there anything more about that you might be able to share?
No, we've talked to Vernon, but right now we're just gathering information.